speaking of being crossed, I think at AEW they do a media scrum after their pay per view events. So afterwards, Tony Khan, I think I said it to you earlier. He was pretty much upset about WWE like counter booking his event.
Did they?
Well, the All Out was scheduled way before WWE scheduled the Clash at the Castle. Okay. Not only did they do that, they also had an NXT show. So it was NXT 2.0 versus NXT UK.
Yeah, but is it just?
And I guess he feels like that watered down that weekend of wrestling before his pay-per-view, and he basically said he's not going to take it lightly.
Okay, so Burger King ain't going to sell Whoppers on Monday because McDonald's is selling Big Macs on Monday, and Burger King and vice versa. Like, I mean, they're not on the same day.
No. But he compared himself to Jim Crockett. Yeah. I'm not familiar with. I know Jim the name, Crockett, but I'm not
Crockett
familiar.
Promotions, yeah, that was it, man.
He said, when I compare myself to Jim Crockett Promotions this weekend, I got a taste of the same medicine Jim Crockett Promotions took, but I have a lot more effing money, and I'm serious. I'm not going to sit back and take this effing shit.
Well, bravo. You should be saying that shit out loud on Twitter. I think actions speak louder than words. You know, I when I walk up and I see a dog, if that dog's barking, rah, 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 okay. And then there's another dog in the alley. He's not barking. And he's just looking at me. And he's just, what's up? I'm going to go by the barking dog. I'm going to take my chances with the barking dog. Because usually the barking dog's just barking to bark, you know. And the one that ain't barking is going to do something. But I don't doubt Tony Khan's going to do something. He's got money. He's saying what he's going to do. He's doing it. So what? They ran shows all on the same weekend. It's just business. It's professional wrestling, you know. It's like I just mentioned, you like, what, you're not going to sell hamburgers today because McDonald's is, or Burger King, you know, vice versa. What are you going to do? I mean, it's just business. How many corners you go to? There's a McDonald's and there's a Burger King right across from it.
Right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is what it is. And then Wendy's too, and then a Taco Bell, and like so. I don't know, man. He's getting really. I think I don't work there, so I don't know. I've only had cups of coffee in there. I come in, did one off and leave, and did a one off and left. But I think they got bigger problems that they gotta handle than worrying about these pay-per-views. Like Hunter and them, they might have took jabs and said, yeah, well, you know, about the ratings thing, it's not a competition, and maybe it was, maybe it's not. People are gonna say things, but you know, the fans are gonna win from this because they're gonna have to put better product out there, and they're gonna think things through, and then they're gonna put more effort into things and stuff like that, especially on WWE end. Yeah. I think the game's gonna step up there, and not the game because of Hunter, but the game in wrestling, which it should, and they got AEW needs to handle like I haven't seen it, and I don't know, and I'm not talking to anybody, but just if you read or listen to the gossip. You got the Young Bucks and CM Punk going to blows, and Ace Steel biting Kenny Omega, which I don't know if I'd bite Kenny Omega. I don't know. I mean, what the fuck? I don't know if it's a work or what, but it's obviously something, and it's something. And but you need to get your. Before you start getting mad at anybody outside of your shit, get your own house in order, you know? Get your talent under control. Somebody step up and say, no, I own this company here, mofos. You're under contract. You get to do it. I want you to do it. Or you can sit home and not get paid and not work anywhere, depending upon your type of contract. He needs to get his house in order, man. It's going to end up like Game of Thrones. They're going to come in there and cut his damn head off, and somebody else is going to be running his kingdom. So, you know, until you start getting upset with Hunter or Vince or WWE corporate, whatever the hell it is, because they're running shows, that clash thing, I don't even know. Maybe it was intentional, or maybe it was just coincidental. Maybe it's just where the lineup fell, where they could fit a show in because they needed one for the UK fans, and to keep that market strong and hold that foothold anchor in that market. And maybe they got a 2-for-1. Maybe they stuck it to them and said, got a show on this weekend, but it was probably the weekend they needed to do the show, or they could fit the show in their own schedule because of all the scheduling. So, but I think, and I'm not a guy and the studies analysis or anything, or am I educated on any of this stuff? But I just think that talking mad shit like that and showing your
Card.
just showing your emotions out, like putting your emotions on your sleeve, just I don't want to say it makes you weak, but it makes you an easier target to see what they know they're getting at you. You know, if you were to no sell it, run on, move on, and just do something about it. You know, actions are louder than words. Like actions always speak louder than words. But on top of that, he really needs to get his house in order if these are situations. And I mean, he still had the MJF thing, and then they had the promos with CM Punk. Then now you got Ace Steel biting Kenny Omega. You got a young CM Punk swinging on one of the Young Bucks, and CM Punk apologizing to Colt, or not apologizing to Colt Cabana, apologizing to the fans that he's got to talk about Colt Cabana after all. What the flip, man? Like, it's like TMZ over there. It's like watching TMZ when it first came out. You're just watching train wrecks and hearing all the bad shit in the news, waiting for something else bad to happen. You know,
kind of overshadowed the actual pay-per-view.
Well, I think it's overshadowing all the talented people and stuff they got there, and stuff that they could be just concentrating on building other people. They just got to get their house in order, man, before they start worried about it. That's just my own opinion. And again, I am not an analysis or expert on anything. I've wrestled 35 years, but if I would have done the right things, I probably wouldn't be sitting here doing this right now. I'd be on the road doing some other things. So who am I? But I mean, in general, like, if there's a dog barking there, I got two paths to go. There's a dog barking here and a dog just quietly looking there. I'm going to go towards the barking dog every time.
So, I mean, since we're still on that topic, we didn't get to cover it last week, but them sending like a cease and desist to WWE.
What?
About poaching their talent.
Oh, so they followed. So a big company has followed in tracks of a small company. MLW, correct? MLW originally sued WWE, or has a pending lawsuit, or I don't know, I haven't heard much more about it, for claims of them poaching their talent and blocking them on networks. So now AEW has followed suit.
Yeah, well, they sent like a warning, because apparently they reached out to Chris Jericho to talk to him about returning to the WWE when his contract there expires. Mm-hmm. And I guess Chris Jericho blew the whistle.
Chris Jericho's a rock and roller, so I'm gonna bring up a Metallica album, Master of Puppets. I'm just saying, you never know, man. This is world's full of smoke and mirrors, and it's all smoke and mirrors. Believe none of what you hear, and only half of what you see, Raymond.
They're
You understand what I said? Believe none of what you hear, and only half of what you see. That's what the old man Boris Malenko told me. Or he said a quarter what you see, but whatever, quarter what you hear, half what, whatever. But none of what you hear and only half of what you see. It's all over. I don't know. I haven't talked to Jericho. I haven't done anything. I would like to talk to Jericho because I would have loved to have done a Jericho cruise in February, but I don't talk to Jericho. So or has he reached out about a cruise or anything like that? But he's so smart. Like he's not. Chris Jericho. There's nothing that's not plotted or ployed in his head. Like, so, you know, he might be saying all this and this and this, but he's probably thinking another thing inside. I don't really know. It's been a long time since I've been around him, but by no means is he one-tracked or does he have blinders on. I don't believe that. I think he's very smart and he's calculated, and I think he knows exactly what he's doing.
Well said. So, I mean, was contract tampering common, like, back when you were with major promotions? Was that, like, a thing with WWE, WCW?
It was out in the open. I think they talk to each other, though. Unlike, maybe they do the same thing in AEW and WWE, but I think WWF and WCW, they knew when they had people liaisoning and talking to each other, and whose contracts were coming up and whose weren't, and but it was good for business. You know, it's good for the wrestlers to get paid better. It made people work harder. People were more creative. People put more into stuff. People do the favor going out and they're coming in. You know, there's rumors that Malachi Black's leaving now or something, even though he had a 5-year deal. Like, they're saying he bowed, gave a kiss and bowed goodbye, something out of the ordinary. And Tony Khan was asked about that in the Scrum too. They just said I couldn't comment on it. who knows what's real and not real in AEW, because they take something that was probably started out real, resolve the situation, but try to keep it a work, and then who knows? Like, it's just insane. Like I said, I'm gonna go back to believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see.
Is that typical in wrestling? A 5-year contract, or is that like too long?
Well, WWE would give 3 years, or 3, maybe 5, but 3 for sure. But they could let you go anytime they wanted to. It was always one sided. They could just let you go anytime they wanted to. You couldn't leave whenever you wanted to, but they could let you go whenever they wanted to. At least some of the lower end. I don't know. That was in my era, and those guys that had better contracts, and some that worked directly for the company. But I mean, now everything's different. I mean. Everything's so different now. People are telling them what they're going to do or not do. It's spun around. WWE still probably has more of a reign on people than AEW does and stuff. And maybe Tony Khan wants it to be like that. You know, maybe he wants the people that have more freedom, feel more liberated and creative, and that they're in control of their own destiny or their narrative. Control your narrative. Braun Strowman's going back to WWE.
Yeah, I saw that.
So what happens to control your narrative there? But maybe Tony Khan thinks they can control their own narrative. The talent can control their path more. I don't know.
What I will mention is I think he's kind of seeing that and is taking steps in the direction of the WWE. Like they had like a meeting 2 or 3 weeks ago where they created like a talent relations department.
Man, I told you day one, Raymond, they had to answer to the numbers and stuff like that. I said it's gonna come where people gonna be getting let go, not renewed. People gonna be unhappy. It's just you always got to answer to somebody, and you can't just let them run wild. And that's what was kind of going on. And
somebody created departments and stuff.
What's that?
Oh yeah, so they created like a talent relations department. I guess so. Tony is not the direct one.
Yeah, well, talent relations departments out there biting each other and fighting. Hasty. Wonder where poor Jerry Lynn was during all this.
Who's that?
He's a producer there, and he's part of those guys that shield you from QT Marshall, Jerry Lynn. They're all part of that the ones that are you bring your ideas and stuff to, and they take it to Tony, and Tony tells them, and they come back and reflect. It's a yay or nay, or there's a meeting, and we'll talk about it. There's something of that nature. There's some kind of food chain like that. So